सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। I'll just go through the Niryoga Kshema Atmavan and then we'll move on to the next verse. Shankara also explains what the word Niryoga Kshema means in his commentary to this verse. Gaining something that you do not have is called yoga, something that is not with you, something that you want to accomplish, something that is desirable. Kshema means having to protect what you have already gained. Say you do not have a job and you apply for one and then go for an interview. This is all done for the sake of getting the job and therefore you are doing yoga. Once you have the job, it becomes another job to retain it. The whole job of retaining a job is what is meant by kshema. Similarly, earning money is yoga and hanging on to it, investing it is kshema. Having a child is yoga. Bringing up and retaining the child, not losing it, is kshema. Getting married is yoga and making it work is kshema. Therefore, there is yoga kshema everywhere. A person's problems will always be related to either yoga or kshema. Either you do not get what you want, or you have lost what you had, or are losing what you have. From the hair on your head onwards, there are hundreds of things that we are losing which cause problems of anxiety, all of which are yoga and kshema. Krishna therefore said to Arjuna, may you be a person who has no concern or anxiety due to yoga or kshema. Niryoga kshema bhava. The whole idea here is that for those who are only concerned with getting what they want and hanging on to it, engaging themselves in the pursuit of moksha will be very difficult. Krishna did not say that you should not go for yoga and kshema. Rather, he said, let there be no concern born of yoga and kshema. In other words, may you be free. Further, Krishna said, may you be the one whose mind and senses are with you. May you be Atmavan, a master of yourself. All of this is explained throughout the Gita. Otherwise, Krishna's words would have been merely advice and not teaching. This verse tells us what Krishna was going to teach. Here, Atma refers to the body, mind, and senses, and not to the Satchit Ananda Atma, which is already you. Because you have a body, mind, and senses, what is being said here is, may you have them. May they not have you. May you not be in the hands of your fancies. May your mind be with you. May you become free from indifference and mechanical thinking, pramada. In other words, may you become alert. May you be together. Those who are committed to bhoga and aishwarya see the Veda as having only the three qualities as its subject matter, Traigunya Vishaya, whereas it has much more to teach. For example, the contents of this verse are taught in the Veda. Vedanta is also a part of the Veda. Krishna was saying that Arjuna had learnt enough of the Traigunya Vishaya part of the Veda. Now it was time for him to study the other part, the Vedanta. Thus he used the word Nistraigunya. He then went on to emphasize his point. यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. Sarvatah, everywhere. Sampluta udake, when it is being flooded. Udapane, in a pond or well, any small reservoir of water. Yavan, as much. Arthaha, use. Tavan, that much. Vijanatah brahmanasya, for the knowing brahmana. Sarveshu, in all. Vedeshu, the Vedas. सर्वतः संप्लुत उदके उदपाने यावान् अर्थः तावान् विजानतः ब्राह्मणस्य सर्वेषु वेदेषु. For the Brahmana who knows the self, all the Vedas are of so much use as a small reservoir is when there is a flood everywhere. The reason Krishna asked Arjuna to go beyond those parts of the Veda, dealing only with samsara, is given in this excellent verse. The word Brahmana means one in whom sattva is predominant. Therefore, a Brahmana is a thinking person, a discriminating person. The word Vijanataha, qualifying the Brahmana, refers to one who knows what it is all about. For an enlightened Brahmana, Vijanatah Brahmanasya, Krishna says, the portion of the Veda relating only to samsara is as useful as the water from a well when the entire countryside has been flooded. Sarvatah Samplutodake. When the wells and ponds themselves are under water, you need not look to them for water. The end of seeking. The various means and ends talked about in the Veda are all limited so that any result you derive from the karmas enjoined is also going to be limited. The wise person is the one who knows he is limitless, Param Brahma. When a person is limitless Ananda, where is the necessity of looking for Ananda? Because the very nature, Swarupa of the person is Ananda. One who has this knowledge does not look for Ananda, just as a sugar crystal does not require any sugar at all to make itself sweeter. Nothing can become sweeter than sugar. Once something has crystallized into sugar, it cannot be sweetened any further. The very crystallization indicates that the sweetness saturation has been reached. The American system of government may be better than the Russian system, but their sugars are both the same. In the same way, You are Ananda by nature. When you are Ananda, you do not require any source of Ananda, any source of security. But this is exactly what you are seeking through all these karmas, means, and ends. Therefore, the various means and ends mentioned in all four Vedas will only be of as much use tavan sarveshu vedeshu as the small ponds and wells are when there is water everywhere. When the ponds and wells are already flooded by water, where is the pond or well, in fact? All that Krishna said in the previous verses was to create in Arjuna an interest in Karma Yoga, which Krishna has not yet talked about. He had only talked about Sankhya, knowledge. After asking Arjuna to listen to what he had to say about Karma Yoga, he began praising it, saying that there was no possibility of losing anything or incurring any wrong result by its practice because Karma Yoga is not mere karma. He then pointed out that people do karmas because they do not know what they really want. Since what they want is not very clear, they go after enjoyment and power. However, when what is wanted is very clear, the mind is settled. The storm is over, and there is no more interest in experimentation. There is no more trying to see if this or that will do it. All experimentation stops because there is clarity with reference to what is wanted, which itself is a great blessing. Then it becomes a question of whether you want to live a life of sannyasa or karma yoga, the only two lifestyles open to you. Between the two, you have a choice. But in fact, there is really very little choice because it all depends upon where you are. Sannyasa may not be available to all, may not be advisable to all. Therefore, karma yoga is preferable. Both have a common goal. Both are meant for moksha in the form of knowledge. A sannyasi works for moksha, and so does a karma yogi. Although Krishna has talked so much about karma yoga, he has not actually said what it is. In the next verse, he explains it. यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. So let's do Manana on this. If you want me to repeat anything, just let me know. Else we'll share what we've understood before going to the next verse.
I like that sentence, the sannyasa and karma yoga. The sannyasa is not advisable to everyone, and karma yoga for some means we have to decide which marga, which lifestyle we need to follow.
Yeah, sannyasas dukkham aptum ayogataha. So someone takes to sannyasa without enough preparation, without being eligible for it, then it becomes very difficult. It only leads to dukkha. Like the example China gave, when a person out of desperation takes to sannyasa, he leaves his family and goes to the Himalayas, but he's not able to give up he's a tea shop owner before. So he goes to the Himalayas for a few days, weeks is fine. But then his purva samskaras start taking over. The impressions are still there. So he says the tea that is provided there, that he's getting to drink, is not as much as good as he does. So then he starts off making tea, and then he actually begins a tea stall there. So he is he is an incomplete. He's a sannyas, a person who's taken to sannyasa without being eligible, and therefore all the rest of us have actually no choice left but to do karma yoga. And the meaning of Brahmana here is a thinking person, a discriminating person, and a person in whom sattva is predominant. So, a person who has this clarity of what am I seeking? What am I here for? Then the whole of the karma kanda of the Vedas is as useful as a pond of water is when there is flood everywhere. Because a wise person knows that he is limitless. So where is the necessity of looking? So therefore your seeking ends. No more trying this or that. No more wanting to go from one experience to another experience.
In sattva means whatever happens, yoga, kshema, or everything, he just follow it. Means he doesn't judge it or something like that. And sometimes means above sattva, he said no traigunya.
Hmm.
Traigunya.
Nistrai
That
gunyo
above
bhava.
that, nice traigunya. Huh? So in that turiya avastha is there, so it doesn't bother him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Means
He
yeah.
just see in I
Means,
think in one
hmm.
of the other chapters,
Huh.
Krishna mentioned a person who is wise, a wise man.
Hmm.
He looks at as a witness. He looks at all the three gunas. He looks at even the tamas coming up, the rajas coming up, sattva working. He is unattached to them. He just watches them rise and fall because that is the nature of the body and mind and senses. So he remains as a witness.
If he
And
doesn't
being
remain witness, then again he will go to the sansara where it is said it is a trigunatmika, that
correct.
sansara. So we will fall again caught up in that maya.
Yeah. So being in that witness consciousness 24 by 7 is what is being nistray gunyo, having attained that state. Because in that state, you're automatically nirdvandva as well. You're beyond the opposites because it doesn't affect you. So that is why he's given this example. If you know that you are Ananda, where is and your limitless Ananda, it is not just Ananda, your limitless Ananda. So where is the need for seeking Ananda elsewhere? So that is the end of seeking.
That example he has given now, when the pond is there and whale is there and everywhere the flood is there. So why you want to find that, means that smallness is not there then.
Yeah. So seeking for yoga and kshema and seeking for bhoga and aishwarya is like searching for that pond, limited. It has its own limitation. So when you know your limitless Ananda, why are you, where is the need to seek for Ananda coming from, say, some little small achievement, some name, fame, power, wealth, or.
That is the source of security. Means
Mm,
we feel security outside, not inside. We are already secured in ourselves.
yeah, which is exactly what Gurudev says. Where are you keeping your security? Is it in your house, in the money, in the bank account you have, the relationships you have? We become so shaken up if something happens to this, any of these, right? So that much we have put our security in them. Like Rajima would mention, she would say, I have, Narayana insurance. If your security is on Narayana, is in Narayana, is in the Ananda that you are, is in the that inner peace that you are, then nothing can shake you. Because in spite of favorable, not, it's not that you will only have good experiences in the sense, in the relative term, in the relative sense, that you will only have your life will become a bed of roses once you have Narayana insurance. The fact that you have Narayana insurance will ensure that you have a composed mind, that you remain that Atmavan, the Sattvastaha. You remain in that centeredness. You are calm, composed.
And if we try to find out the reasons or means that source for your ananda, then we judge, we just vishlation means we use the buddhi more. Buddhi required, but that discrimination power should be there. Then that sthirta or sterya or atmavat that will be gained. Means I feel like when we are thinking much, we are away from ourselves. But when we go in, we have a solutions and there is a stability and stereo. Means I want to say something, but different things are coming up. Means we are steady, inward. Our inward journey is there.
Yeah, it is like having the body, mind, and senses, that you have them and they are not having you. You have a say over them. So he's going to open up Karma Yoga in the next verse. So what is wanted, what is wanted, that what you want should be very clear. People do karma because they do not know what they really want. Since what they want is not very clear, they go after enjoyment and power. However, when what is wanted is very clear, the mind is settled. The storm is over, and there is no more interest in experimentation. There is no more trying to see if this or that will do it. All experimentation stops because there is clarity with reference to what is wanted, which itself is a great blessing. Then it becomes a question of whether you want to live a life of sannyasa or karma yoga. But actually, there is very little choice because it depends upon where you are. Sannyasa may not be advisable at all. Therefore, karma yoga is preferable. Both have a common goal. Both are meant for moksha in the form of knowledge. A sannyasi works for moksha, and so does a karma yogi.
Please continue
Although,
reading. Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the last sentence also.
although Krishna has talked so much about karma yoga, he has not actually said what it is. In the next verse, he explains it. It is coincidental that I um, came in touch with a sannyasi. In fact, he had called me up from India a couple of days ago and was asking about some teachers in Saudi Arabia. So I was busy then at work. So I said, I'll connect with you later. And then it so happened that when I messaged him, he got back and he said, he, very interestingly, he was actually an IT person working in Saudi Arabia. And when he was there, he happened to do the happiness course. He also learned the Sahaj Samadhi meditation. But then he said, right now I'm in Uttar Kashi and I'm a sannyasi. And he gave his name. His name is different from his. Once they take to sannyasa, their name changes. The previous name is given up. So I was kind of keen to know why he took to sannyasa, and he gave me the what happened. He was called by his guru. He actually belongs to the Sringeri Mutt. And then his guru said, no, come and study the Vedas. So he studied the Vedas for 10 years. And then, I mean, it was that journey was there. Finally, he became a sannyasi and he is stationed in Uttar Kashi. So then I was keen to know, I said, what about your family? He said, I was single and I'm single and I didn't have any family. So then it occurred to me that it is not just your, I think to take to sannyasa, you need to be eligible. Not everyone can take to sannyasa. That is true sannyasa. That is not just donning ochre robes and leaving the so-called materialistic world and leaving away. Leaving samyak nyasa, it is sannyasa. So a true sannyasi, there has to be there has to be that bare minimum eligibility. Yeah, so we'll move forward. I know I didn't want to deviate too much, just wanted to mention that to become a sannyasi, you require eligibility.
Actually, once one of my colleagues had stayed back in the ashram, and Gurudev went on his foreign tour and he came back. So he did his happiness, then he did his advanced course, then he did his YLTP, and he was going on doing courses in the ashram. When Gurudev came back, he was still there, saying, "Are you still here?" Saying, "Yeah, I gave up my job." He was an advocate by profession. So Gurudev said, "No, no." He was very young. So you go back. You are not to stay in the ashram. You go back to your profession. And he put him and he sent him back. He used to co-teach with me. We used to take follow-ups together, etc. And he shared this with us. So everybody is not meant to be a sannyasi. He got married also pretty late in life, nearing about his 40s when he got married. Jai Gurudev.
So we're going into the portals of karma yoga now with this very powerful verse, which is very, very often quoted Everybody tends to quote this. When they think of Gita, this is the verse that most people get. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhuhu ma te sangostva karmani. Karmani in action, eva only, te your, adhikaraha choice, phaleshu in the results, ma kadachana never, karma phala hetuhu the cause of the results, ma bhuhu do not be, akarmani in inaction, te your, sangaha attachment, ma astu let it not be. कर्मणि एव ते अधिकारः फलेषु मा कदाचन कर्मफलहेतुः मा भूः अकर्मणि ते संगः मा अस्तु. So your choice is in action only, never in the results thereof. Do not be the author of the results of action. Let your attachment not to be to inaction. Let your attachment not be to inaction. Shankara takes the karma mentioned in this verse as purely scripturally enjoined karma, Vaidika karma, because that was what was under discussion. We shall look at it as any karma rather than strictly Vaidika karma, since Karma Yoga allows for it, and Shankara has said nothing to rule out the propriety of this approach. So, although in the Shankara Bhashya it is mentioned, it was meant as Vaidika karma. So, your choice is in action only, never in the results thereof. Do not be the author of the results of action. Let your attachment not be to inaction. So, but Swamiji has mentioned that he is including not just Vaidika karma but also Samanya karma, Vyavaharika karma. The word adhikara here means choice, your right, something over which you have power. This choice is only with reference to karma, the actions you perform. At no time, ma kadachit, however, is there a choice with reference to the results of actions, phaleshu. Thus, with reference to all actions, you have a choice, but with reference to the results thereof, you have no choice whatsoever. This is a very simple statement of fact. Even for Vaidika karma, there is a choice. You can do it, you need not do it, and you can do it differently. This capacity to do, not to do, and to do it differently makes you a karma adhikari. An animal, on the other hand, is not a karma adhikari because it does not have a choice in its actions, but is motivated only by its instincts. When Krishna told Arjuna that he did not have any choice over the results of action, he was not giving him a piece of advice. It was a statement of fact. A statement of fact is not an advice, it is teaching. That water boils at 100 degrees is a statement of fact. Here also, with reference to actions and their results, the statement, your choice is only in action, never in the results thereof. Karmani eva adhikaraha te, ma phaleshu kadachana, is a statement of fact. The definition of Karma Yoga. Yoga is defined in three different ways in the Gita. The Karma Yoga that Krishna is praising is defined in two ways in this chapter. So, third definition of Karma Yoga is dissociation from the association with pain. This is from the 23rd verse of chapter 6. The first is evenness of the mind is called karma yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. This is the 48th verse, second chapter. The second is discretion in action is called karma yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. The 50th verse. Both definitions are necessary and need to be understood. Only then can karma yoga be properly understood. I will repeat this. So, yoga is defined. What is the definition of karma yoga? Yoga is defined in three different ways in the Gita. Now remember, this yoga is that is going to be described is different from in the context of the previous verse. In the previous verse, yoga kshema. There, yoga in that context meant that which you do not have, that you want to acquire. Whereas here, yoga is being defined as karma yoga, right? So the karma yoga that Krishna is praising is defined in two ways in this chapter. The first is evenness of the mind is called karma yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. The second is discretion in action is called karma yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Both definitions are necessary and need to be understood. Only then can karma yoga be properly understood. Samatva and kaushala are defining words for karma yoga. Samatva is based on the sentence in the present verse, Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma phaleshu kadachana. Samatva means sameness, and sameness of mind is karma yoga. Karma is also definitely involved in karma yoga. Otherwise, there would be no karma yoga. There can be karma without yoga, but without karma, there can be no karma yoga. If karma yoga implies karma, then there must be sameness, samatva, with reference to karma. Let us see where the sameness is possible. Sameness is not possible in the karma itself because you cannot do the same karma during the entire day, day after day, throughout your entire lifetime. Cooking is one karma, eating is another, and stirring the food in the pot is yet another. Removing the pot from fire is a different karma altogether. The karmas are therefore endless: sitting, standing, switching the stove on, switching it off, and so on. Obviously, then, the karmas cannot be the same because they are different. Perhaps we can say that the results of karmas, the karma phalas, are the same. Again, it is not possible. When you heat water, for example, there is one result. And when you switch off the stove, there is another, entirely different result. The water that was hot slowly becomes cold as it loses its heat. Thus, different karmas are done for different results. The results vary. If you do not get a different result when you switch the stove on and off, you have a different kind of problem in that the stove is not functioning properly. Normally, the results will be different. Thus, neither karmas nor their results can be the same. In fact, different karmas are done for different results. Every karma is desire based. Every action presupposes desire. Therefore, desire also cannot be the same. I do different karmas because I want different results. Desires are meant for results alone, and the results are different. The samatva is not in the karma, its results, or the desire upon which the karma is based. In fact, samatva can only be with reference to your attitude concerning the results of action. While you have a choice over your action, you are helpless with reference to the result. You are not Ishvara. You are just an individual with limited knowledge, limited power, and ever so many desires. You have countless likes and dislikes, ragadveshas to be fulfilled. Therefore, you undertake various activities. Very nicely derived that the samatva. So, there are three definitions for yoga, karma yoga, and one of them is samatva, sameness. The other definition is karmasu kaushanam.
And what was the first?
Sameness, samatvam yoga uchyate. Evenness of the mind. And the second one is discretion in action. And the third definition actually is dissociation from the association with pain.
So in Samatva, what did he say? Because the karmas are different and results also different. So there is no Samatva. Then where is the Samatva? In mind.
The
Further.
sameness in the attitude of the mind.
Hmm.
So sameness is not possible. The samatva, if you're okay, you think, okay, fine. Is it with respect to karma? Not all karmas are the same. There are different karmas. Are the results the samatva? Is it meant to be for the results? But every karma has a different result. So then, is it with the desire which is prompting the karma? Because every karma is prompted by a desire. Again, it is not same. It is not the same because you have desires are meant for results and the results are different. Because every action is different. The desire is also different because you desire different results. So, therefore, the sameness is not meant for karma, the results, or the desires that prompt the karma. So, samatva can only be with reference to your attitude concerning the results of action. See, you have a choice over your action, but you are helpless with reference to the result. And this is in all our experience, right? So here, while you have a choice over your action, you are helpless with reference to the result. You are not Ishvara, you are just an individual with limited knowledge, limited power, and ever so many desires. Here he is talking about the jiva that each of us is. This is where we stand, ground level. Reality is that we are actually Ishvara, but ground level is where we are under this illusion that we are just an individual. And because we are an individual, we have limitation of our knowledge, of power, of happiness. We are bound by so many likes and dislikes, and therefore we undertake various activities. Karma is totally desire based. Whatever be the nature of the karmas you do, they are all meant for fulfilling your raga dveshas, commonly called desires. Raga is with reference to what you want to have, what you want to retain, and Dvesha is with reference to what you want to avoid, what you want to get rid of. That you want is kama, desire. What you want is defined in terms of either raga or dvesha. Everyone has likes and dislikes. They form the nature of an individual and are common to all. They may reveal how cultured, how sophisticated a person is, but the fact that everyone has likes and dislikes is common. There is no exception. Because of the presence of raga dveshas alone, there are various activities, and all the karmas undertaken are meant to produce the desired results because both raga and dvesha are result oriented. I'll just repeat this one. So everyone has ragas and has likes and dislikes. They form the nature of an individual and are common to all. They may reveal how cultured, how sophisticated a person is, but the fact that everyone has likes and dislikes is common. There is no exception. Because of the presence of raga dveshas alone, there are various activities, and all the karmas undertaken are meant to produce the desired results because both raga and dvesha are result oriented. You want to accomplish this being the result. It is not that you want to accomplish karma, you want to accomplish the result, and for its sake, you do this karma. Since you perform a particular karma to accomplish a specific end, it seems as though you have figured out which karma will produce which result. But then you find out that what you had figured out is not that predictable. In fact, you find that you can get exactly the opposite of what you thought you would get. What you want is one thing, but what you do seems to be either inadequate or inappropriate as it produces the opposite result. If we analyze any result, we find that it always falls into one of the following categories: more than what we want, less than what we want, the opposite of what we want, or exactly what we want. Anishtamishtam mishram cha trividham karmanah phalam. Remember this verse in, I think, chapter 17 or 18. Anishtam, mishram, ishtam. So, what you don't want, a mixture of what you want and don't want, or what you want. These will be the results of karma phala, the results of karma. So here is he's adding on one more than what we want, less than what we want, the opposite of what we want, or exactly what we want. If you want to cross the road and you do so, finding yourself on the other side, you got what you wanted. The result was as you expected. If you wanted to cross the road to catch a bus, and while doing so, someone offered you a ride right to where you were going, you got more than you expected from crossing the road. Had you not crossed the road to get to the bus stop, you would not have met the person who offered a ride. Or, having wanted to cross the road, you may have found yourself in the hospital, having only reached the middle. You may have encountered an accident. The result can be entirely different from what you wanted. You may have wanted a job, but instead, the person who interviewed you for the job you did not get sold you what turned out to be a winning lottery ticket. You did not get the job you wanted, but you did get something entirely different. In this case, most desirable, $1 million. All these situations are possible because you are not omniscient. Also, there is a certain helplessness involved. Therefore, keeping all your fingers crossed may not be enough. You may be better off by crossing your toes also. What is up the sleeve of the future is always a wonder because we simply do not know what is coming next. We do not even know what our next thought is going to be, even after having lived for 40 or 50 years. Yet we talk about the future. This then is the helplessness of the individual, the jiva. We'll stop here today. We'll just do a bit of manana before we do the meditation.
Prabhadaji, what was that first sentence? We do the karma, feeling that the end result will be like that only. Means fixed idea of the result.
Yeah,
But
it is
actually, it doesn't
unless you
happen.
have an idea of the result, you cannot set out to do karma. No? You
Correct.
want to heat your milk on the stove, therefore you put the stove on. So you want the milk to be heated. So any action presupposes a desire for the result. So whether so you have only adhikara, you have the the adhikara here was mentioned as
Means you can switch on the stove and keep it on the, but the result, it will get heated up. But if you don't have a attention, it may spill also. Like here he has given the example, Swamiji has given the example, the man who was crossing the road and wanted to catch the bus, and the
yeah,
result, so many different options he had given.
correct. So the word adhikara means choice or right. So we have adhikara only over the action of putting over this, switching on the stove, for example, or crossing the road. But the result, we have no adhikara because we are jivas, because we have limitations.
We are not omniscient, he said
We are
that.
not omniscient. So the result can be what you expect, more than what you expect, less than what you expect, or completely opposite. Like in this example of this person wanting to cross the road, he could land himself up in the hospital. Did he have any result, any right over the choice over the result of the action? All he wanted to was cross the road. So the results are a wonder. The results of our action are left to wonder how what happens. But what you can do, what is in your hands, what control you have over is the action itself. Yeah.
Jai Gurudev, I just came across very, very beautiful story narrated by our Bhanu Didi. I don't know whether it will be exactly related. Just to say the gist of the story, when Sri Ram and Ma Sita, they were in the exile, Sitaji had befriended many animals. So there was one of them was a parakeet. So she wanted to name the parakeet. So she took the suggestion of Sri Rama that what name should I give to this parakeet? Parakeet. So he said without hesitation, Kaikeyi. So Ma Sita had some apprehension throughout that journey due to the vachana she took, Ma Kaikeyi. So just so Sitama did not react, but she was just staring at Ramaji. And then Sri Rama said, "You tell me how, what is the parakeet?" special for. So he said he will do whatever we teach. He will repeat whatever we teach, and very obediently like that. And he's so, and we feel so happy when he's repeating. So he said, Ma Kaikeyi did exactly same thing what she was supposed to be told by the Devas effect. So she did not have her own say. It was exactly what she said. So then she got that it was that dvesha she had, little dvesha she had in her mind, and she happily named her that Kaikeyi. So just even the, um, I mean, it was so beautifully narrated by her. I do not have that, but that dvesha part, it was taken care of by Lord Rama. That nothing is in our hand. We are just the instrument of what is to be happened. Even in that incarnation, he knew that. Yeah, Jai Gurudev.
Very beautiful story. Thank you for sharing, Leela. So we'll stop here today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
तीन बार ओंकार करते सब रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधा रखें। गहरी सांस लीजिए और छोड़ें। Nothing around us is real, neither this body or the world. शरीर और हमारे परिसर में जो भी है ये सब समाप्त हो जाने की ही है। ये कुछ भी सत्य नहीं। हमारे भीतर एक बिंदु है, सिर्फ वही सत्य है। There is a tiny dot inside of you. Only that is truth. That doesn't change. You are a witness to everything. आप सबके साक्षी हो। मुस्कुराते मुस्कुराते एक सांस लीजिए और मुस्कुराते मुस्कुराते छोड़े। Breathe in with a smile and breathe out with a smile. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Then slowly and gradually become aware of body and surroundings, and you may open your eyes.